So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me on a dull, overcast day on the banks of the River Ribble and in search of silvers on the float. So this will be the first vlog that goes out in 2025 probably. So I hope you've all had a great new year and I hope 2025 brings plenty of fish on the bank. As I always say on the channel, thank you for the support that you show all the way through the years and years gone by. It really is appreciated and I can't wait to share the adventures with you in 2025. On to the session today. Conditions look absolutely perfect. It's a dull, overcast day. There isn't a breath of wind on the water, so hopefully today we can dock that float right down and get a few bites. The first thing I've done is put the ground bait together, and we've gone with that Hinders Supercharged Black and some of that polychrome. A nice mix that's going to be heavy and get down in the water. The gear's all set up behind me, so I'm going to waste no time at all in getting set up and let's get a bait in the water. I really do hope you do enjoy this video, and as I said before, if you do, please leave it a like, and if you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. So the rod we're going with today is my 17-foot Preston Innovations carbon active rod. As you can see on screen now, my heart was in my mouth last night and I was a bit upset. One of the eyes has lost the insert on it, so if anyone knows a reliable rod specialist, give me a shout. I've teamed that up with a Cordum Axis 2 reel, and on there I've got 4-pound line. That's down to a 6-gram bolo, and about 2 foot above the hook link I've got a bulk shot of Dinsmore weight and Olivet. So looking at the side tray, we've got plenty of that Hinders hemp, and we've got a lot of that in the ground bait as well. I boiled that up last night. It's not Christmas Day, I think it was the day after Boxing Day, so we were all safe. And thank you to everyone that put the hints and tips about the flask. I did use a flask, but the amounts that I cook up, and I love the smell of hemp the night before the session, to me, it's the feeling of going fishing the next day. We've got plenty of maggot. There's about 3 pints of white and about half a pint of red in there. And we've got some sweet corn as well. I'm looking at the ground bait, I've got it right next to me there. And the plan is today just to squeeze a ball like that. And we're going to put it down the middle. You can see there it's loaded with that hemp. Put a bit of corn in it as well. I've spilt a bit as well, so the ducks will be happy tonight, but that's the plan today, to feed maggot and just feed a nugget of ground bait like that. I've got my Cordum Glide set up behind me with a 6 No. 4 stick float on it. And the plan with that is just to put a bit of hemp down here, maybe have a go later on, we might get them a bit closer in. Conditions today are perfect. You can see overcast, gloomy. We're going to be going down this line here. I'm going to be feeding me maggots in line with me so the fish don't come up. I'm thinking about feeding 2 pouches really heavy and then fishing it out, because I don't want the fish to come right up on me. And we're going to be throwing them balls of ground bait round about here so we can just run that bolo over the top. So we're going to start by feeding some maggot heavy into the swim. You see there 2 big pouches over an area, so it's going to give us the option to try and draw them in a little bit, but also we are targeting just this side of the river today. Some of these balls of ground bait, we're going to be really positive, in line with that tree, and go down that line there. So the balls of ground bait will also go over an area. I've mixed it nice and tacky, so I can really squeeze them balls tight. And the idea is to run the float over the top. And what you're looking for when you cast in are them 2 plops. So just touch the float as it goes in. You got the plop of the float and then the plop of the weight. The beauty today, we can dock that bolo right down. I'm hoping the maggots have gone down that line and that ground bait. There we go. It's the first fish of the day. It's coming that nice distance down the swim, a nice positive bite. And we're looking for quality fish today, hopefully, by targeting the middle of the river. Like I always say at the start, it's just about getting bite. I'm going to repeat the process. Nice positive pouch of maggot. To begin with, I'm putting 2 in, just to build up that column of bait. See, it's going over an area. And again, nice big dollop of that ground bait. And the key is to keep that rod nice and high. You want to keep in contact with that float. And there we go. See there, it's down that line that we're creating. We're getting these bites. It was a great start to the session. We managed to dock that float right down. We're getting bites straight away. It's a beautiful day to be on the bank. Plenty of people out enjoying the fishing, which is great to see. And at the start, it's just about getting that line correct, your feeding right, keeping them balls of ground bait going in and going over the top. And comfort is really important with this type of fishing. It's not often a set up a rod rest, but it means you can put the rod down when I feed them maggots in the swim and the ground bait. And there we go, another beautiful days. I'm tightly squeezing that ball of ground bait because I want it to stay in the swim and just drift down. Go. Straight over the top with the bolo. There we go. It's exactly how we want it to work. You can see we fed that ground bait and we're getting a bites in the right area. If they suddenly disappear, it means they might have moved up onto them maggots, but we're getting them at the moment exactly where we want to get them. And once Christmas is out the way, these really do take over. These and pike and chub, and of course roach, really are my after Christmas fishing, and I absolutely love it. There you go, there you can see, not feeding every time, just trying to read the swim as we go through. And they're still coming. I've got a tree directly in front of me there, diagonal. I'm just trying to keep the bites in line with that really. When people ask on the channel for advice on feeding, the river will always tell you. Where you're getting your bites, or the fact you're getting bites, tells you everything. We're not getting any bites till we get down the swim, so we want to keep them days down by that tree. We've just got to hope today Mr. Pike doesn't turn up. And you can just see how clear conditions are today, and that's why we're going down that middle line. I'm going to start feeding a bit of hemp, just a little bit on this inside line for that 6 number 4, just in case we can get them going there. But lovely fishing, and it is a lot of effort going down the middle, you know, a lot of feeding. It's not easy fishing, but well worth the effort when you get a fish like that. It's a beautiful roach, that. All coming on the bolo, over ground bait, that hinders hemp and that poly crumb. It really is beautiful fishing. It's good when a plan comes together, and days like this on the ribble are very rare where it's flat calm, so you have to really make most of them. And yeah, great fun. Today we were targeting them quality fish down the middle. We've had a nice roach. That's a beautiful day start. Positive tactics, working well, and plenty of bites. It really is great fishing, and this morning me and Azza sat at the top of the bank having a cup of tea. I was super excited about today. Sometimes it lets you down, but flat calm and a beautiful roach coming to the net. And when it all comes together, cooking that hemp, getting up early in the morning, the travelling is all worthwhile. So just flicking that rig out again, not putting any feed in, just feeding to bites. You see there, while the fish are still there, just keep on getting the bites and just feed how you have to. We've got plenty of ground bait today if we want to really attack the swim, but when we're getting bites like this, it's definitely working. So feed is really important, and a closer look at the ground bait, you can see mixing it really sticky and stodgy. Nice heavy ball, It's going out there, it's going to get down to the bottom. It's not the deepest swim in the world. You can see there we've got a bit of corn in it as well, but it's laced with that hemp. And it's just going to get that bait all the way out there, and we're getting the bites over the top of it. But for those interested, that's how I've mixed my ground bait. And that's probably the best dace of the day so far. Absolutely mint condition and great fishing. Good old friendly Mr. Pike. He followed the dace right into the edge and nailed it. It's not a small one. And very hard to do anything about them out there because obviously you're going down that line and it's so shallow close in. He's just sat out there now wondering why this dace is fighting back a bit. Let's say 9 times out of 10 they do let go. To be very, very lucky to get them in. And amazing how quick these fish move back in. That pike sadly let go, but that is a beautiful dace, that one. It's golden all the way down. That's probably one of the nicest dace I've ever caught. And that's a cracking fish, that. As plump as they come. And again, maybe the dace of the day. But yeah, quality fishing on the River Ribble. The start of the session I did say I'd set up my 13-foot glide, but we haven't needed it today. We just stayed down the middle and kept them bites coming. But looking at the clarity, I don't think they'd have come that close in anyway. But just keeping that bait going in. We fed loads of ground bait today, as you can see. Been really positive, and it's kept them bites coming all day. That is one of the keys to the River Ribble. There's a lot of fish in it and they're hungry, and you have really got to feed them. It's getting cool now, that dace is cold in the palm. We've got about an hour or two left and I'm going to really enjoy the end of the season. And that is a beautiful dace to finish on. I'll see you all at the very end for the final net. It's been a really enjoyable day on the bank. Right, so the session does come to an end there now, and as you can see on screen, had plenty of bites and plenty of quality in that final net. So we really have enjoyed that session today, going on the bolo down the middle, you know, heavy tactics, being aggressive with the feeding, and we've had plenty of bites in the end. I really couldn't think of a finer way to end 2024 than a session on the bank with my uncle, getting plenty of bites and a good time. I really do hope that you've had a good new year, and 2025 brings you plenty of time bankside and the tightest of lines. All that remains now is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.